Hey guys, I want to do a follow-up to my previous video, which was on Classic Game Room. I just want to mention one thing quickly, is that I do not have any grudge against any of the people on the team. I just wanted to bring out that little rant there because it's important that they understand where they're going wrong. That when certain things aren't quite what they used to be and they try to change too much or add too much, that's when things can go wrong. And I want to actually go further into the rant and actually talk about generally about, well, not generally, just more about Classic Game Room, especially the Undertow channel. Okay, now the thing is, Undertow is not the only branch that was added to the Classic Game Room. There was also CGR Garage. There was can't remember the other ones. There are other ones. Garage one was kind of cool in a way, like it was about toy cars or like toys. There's CGI Toy Room as well. Like these were cool ideas. The problem was no one really cared. It was like very niche, so I don't know. It didn't really go that far, to be honest. It was funny at first, and then it's just like, do I really care? But what I'm trying to say is that's not what the real issue is about. The real issue is what they have done recently in terms of videos is they've really released way too many videos. Like there's been a ridiculous number of videos like every day. Like if you are actually subscribed to CGR Undertow, more so because Intercom Company or the original Classic Game Room channel has actually not been that bad. They've done a lot of reviews, but there's not so many a day all the time. CGR Undertow is ridiculous. There are points when there are like 5 videos a day. 5 videos a day, they're all like 3 to 4 minutes each, and guess what? Barely much is touched on those games. Yeah. So why else would there be so many videos? Because they're all so short. That is why I really wish that CGR Undertow would slow down and actually review the games properly and not try and be funny for the sake of it. This is why I was really getting tired of it, because I've noticed it so much. And if you're asking me, well, why do you care? Why don't you just stop watching them? Because people need to be informed. This isn't about me. I'm happy to quit, but this is to inform people, to warn them that, when you watch these guys, you got to be careful on how you think of them, because yes, you can have your own opinion, but you got to be aware that there are people out there who don't get paid anything, and they do more effort and work on their reviews. I'm just saying that it wouldn't be so bad if they didn't have a monetized channel or a monetized team, but they do. They get paid. So they're taking advantage of this, they're taking advantage, and this is why I don't like what they've become. Like they've just tried to monopolize. They haven't bothered trying to, improve as such. Like that is why I brought this up, because it's becoming annoying, and it's bad enough that a lot of the time people actually don't like them. You might think they do, but that's because there's always the fanboys. The fanboys will just like anything that's thrown at them, right? That's what happens when it comes to, these popular channels. There's always going to be fanboys. I'm a fan, but I'm not a fanboy, because I'm critical of them as well. I believe that they need to improve. Some of them need to improve. Some of them need to start focusing on what a review is again. Now, I just want to bring this up again. They really show cool stuff. And I'm telling you, the stuff they have is awesome. The stuff they buy is awesome. Even if it's awesome crap, it's still awesome. It's just the way they demonstrate them is not as good as it used to be. If you think that, not talking about the game at all is a good review, you really need to get your head out of your ass, alright? Seriously, just understand this. When you review a game, you need to talk about what it is that the game is. What is it about its gameplay? What's it about its graphics? What is it about its sound? What is it about its replayability? All this stuff. That is what a review is about. Touching on all these areas. Now, you don't have to touch on all of them. I expect you to talk more about the gameplay than any of them, because that's what a game is more about, is how does it play. And that can include controls too. But if you don't actually explain them, then people are going to get angry. Okay, people are going to think you're just a rambler or just someone who complains for sake of it. Now, I'm going to admit one thing. There is another reviewer who I have to be critical of as well, who really needs to learn to review, to stop being so repetitive with his reviews. Like, he's got to start scripting his reviews a little bit better. You don't even have to follow the script completely. Just write some notes and try and touch all these points. And he doesn't show his faces all, but he doesn't show his face at all during the reviews. So therefore, he doesn't have to have he doesn't have to have any excuse not to have a piece of paper in front of him, so that you can just write little dot points. Okay, the person I'm talking about is, well, Stanburdman, or Stan. I'm sorry, I like you, man, but seriously, like, you need to stop being repetitive. Like, I know you do more professional reviews than me, and I understand that, but you really should, like, learn to script a little bit better. Like, you don't have to, like, just read completely off a piece of paper. But just try and make sure you don't repeat yourself so much. Like, I've seen some of your reviews, and sometimes I wonder, do you ever listen? Do you ever try and figure out that sometimes you repeat yourself? See, I'm even repeating myself, because that's what I hear. Like, let's look at a random game. Like, let's say you were reviewing Super Mario Brothers. Here's what I feel like you would do. You would talk about, oh, well, now if you're a fan of retro games, you should appreciate the game. If you're not a graphics fan, you got to appreciate the graphics for its time. I mean, there's a lot of people these days who talk about graphics have to be full CGI Avatar movies, and therefore CGI is something that people love to have in their games. But this is a retro game where graphics aren't as big, etc. Yada yada yada. Basically, you focus on that point way too long. Like, I'm just saying, like, you could try and expand your areas a little bit. Just saying. I mean, I still like you. Just take this into account, please. Try. Classic Game Room as well, especially them. They need to start fixing their reviews. Like, seriously, I'm just throwing it out there. Try and do better, please. I'm really begging you. Alright, that's enough.